You're gonna love this.
I want to hear it. I'm objective. You're critical.
Anico at the disco.
He's positive. Join the Mixtape 615.
Today, tomorrow, yesterday,
It is the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville.
forever.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. This is the Mixtape 615, and this is the place to be. I'm your boy, Austin. We're going to take it right in. We don't have Tunji here with all the AKAs. I'm going to try to hold it down with mine. So my name is Austin, AKA Wildmane, AKA Ginger Snap, AKA The Fumbling Dublin, AKA Red Beard. Arg. Logan, tell them who you are.
All right, everybody. This is Logan, a.k.a. Beermain, a.k.a. Mr. C again, the artist formerly known as Summer Sam. And we have our favorite FIFA agent with us today. Shay, bring us home.
What's up, guys? Shay here, a.k.a. Somatos, a.k.a. exactly what Logan just said, your favorite agent. Happy to be here.
All right. And y'all know, guys, this is the Mixtape 615 podcast. It's brought to you by the Mixtape 615 supporter group, the dopest supporter group in all of Nashville and all of soccer and all the world. Shay even knows all the ultras down in Honduras, where he's at right now, cannot contain themselves. They can't handle us. They can't do it. It's just us. We are the best. You know it. And you want to jump in with us. Just go to mixtape615.com. That is mixtape615.com and jump in and run this pitch with us. It is the last leg of the season already. Considering the fact that Leagues Cup has ended for us.
9 more games.
So a lot of sports news out there, from floor routines in the Olympics that were lackluster for Australia to the women's U.S. team winning their 5th Olympic gold. It's a great time to be a sports fan, a soccer fan, definitely a U.S. fan in general, wearing my American Outlaws shirt. But we want to bring it all the way home to our resident American national team or former American national team coach, where we're going to talk about his first 2 games and our last 2 games in the Leagues Cup this year. We had 2 losses. We had a 2-0 loss against Mazatlán in Nashville, which just, made a perfect 7 in a row, which was, exactly what we expected out of that match. And in my opinion, I expected that out of that match. And then we lost in penalty kicks in New England. Austin, you were able to watch both at home. So give me kind of your take on what you saw in both games.
I mean, it was what to expect. The first match, it was BJ's first match with the team, with the club. It really felt like he was trying to let them play their game, kind of getting a feel for the players. You don't want to change too much as a head coach coming in, especially in that first match. Heading into a tournament, you're not going to see a ton of changes just because of how the game is played, because if you change too much, you're getting way off of their game. I think the second match, we kind of knew where we were, especially after that first half. And the second half, I think you saw a lot more of BJ's tactics coming in. I think you saw the team getting a little more comfortable with each other. Patrick Yazbek started actually contributing. I mean, you saw the assist that he had to Sam Surridge. So I think that it was actually coming together, but this is what we expected with where Nashville has been this past month and a half, 2 months.
Agreed. Shay, I don't know if you got the chance to watch them. You've kind of been on the road and in your recruitment and your shopping and your marketing, but hopefully you got a chance to take a look at it. Yes. What are your thoughts on this, man?
It was something to be excited about. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me say this. The center back play at the beginning of the game was pretty bad. You could see there was a little bit of miscommunication between the goalkeeper and the back line. You won't see that when Walker returns. So I think the draw with New England could have and should have been better if we had the full squad, Walker back. You can see the positive impact that BJ's having on the squad. It was exciting, honestly. There were opportunities to win the game. The real, let's say, bad spot for Nashville was the loss to Mazatlán. It's not a loss that you can afford at home in this cup. I don't think we can look at New England as a disappointment. I thought there was a lot to be excited about, but realistically speaking, Mazatlán is not a strong club in Mexico traditionally, and you shouldn't be losing to them at home.
Now, a lot of people were calling this group like the weakest group, right? In Leagues Cup.
Of course. Look at it.
Especially with where Nashville has been. And so to be in the weakest group and not even to come out of it, even if it were second place, it was pretty disappointing. I know, Shay, you said it was exciting. I said it's what we expected. It's still disappointing. And so with that, I was a little upset that we didn't come out of the group, because if you look at the knockout round that is happening right now with Leagues Cup, if you look at the round of 32, you look at some teams that came out of their groups. St. Louis, you've got San Jose, bottom two of the league right now. You had New England. You had DC. All of these teams are lower in the table than Nashville, and all of them are making it out of their groups. I know Leagues Cup is a different beast, whatever it is, because you saw what Nashville did last year, and then the second half of the season after Leagues Cup, what Nashville looked like. However, it's really disappointing as a fan to watch your team not even come out of what was called the weakest group, when all of these other teams, 5 other teams that are lower in the table in MLS standings right now.
Well, this tournament benefits MLS in many ways, but especially because the Mexican clubs are just starting their season. There's no reason, just like Mexican clubs don't lose to U.S. clubs in the CONCACAF Champions League in January. You shouldn't be losing to a club like Mazatlán in August.
Now, to be fair, Mazatlán has made it all the way to the quarterfinals. So they're playing against Philly. Club America's playing against Colorado. Then you have Seattle LAFC, NYC versus Columbus.
But look at Club America. I mean, they're a
top team.
Standard, exactly.
I mean, they were the number one slot for them. Columbus was our number one slot in the MLS.
Dude, can we just talk about Columbus's comeback against Miami? I know we're a Nashville podcast, but man, Columbus coming back against Miami, down 2-0, tying it, and then winning in PK. Or no, not even winning in PKs. I think they scored 3 unanswered to beat Miami and advance. So that was really cool.
That's Columbus, man. That's Columbus. They're well coached and they have a winning squad.
Yep. Yeah, all the Miami people are going to be like, well, because Messi wasn't there. And
for the record, guys, I want to point out, last season, Club America finished number 1 in Mexico.
Yep.
Mazatlán, 14.
Yeah.
So are we. No.
Still August.
Yeah, I know. But again, we do need to make sure that we take that into account. Yeah, Mazatlán didn't finish well last year, but that doesn't mean that they're not a solid squad this year. You and I both know, Shay, like, things can turn on a dime. So that's, but overall, excited about BJ? Yes, no?
I am. I'm still, the verdict is still out, I feel like, for me on BJ. I saw a little bit of hope, like I said, in that second half of the New England game. You saw a little bit more coming together. I think you see a little bit more of what BJ is trying to do. He talked a whole lot about development. I know we're about to talk about a couple of the players that we added in our next segment. And I can see a glimmer of a flicker of a lighter that he's holding at the end of the tunnel. But there is some light out there that I'm seeing.
The sparks are coming as he's trying to set the blaze.
Yeah.
And I'll say, again, out of the 4 halves that we saw, that last half is where I feel like we really shined. And part of that is because you could kind of see those things coming in, but you also saw Yazbek playing well. You saw Jonathan Perez, who just came in, and those 2 guys had solid impact on the game. And we want to talk a little bit more about that coming up right after this break. You don't.
Wait 1 second.
Oh.
I do want to point out.
Hold
up. Wait,
before we break.
You're cutting my awesome break. That was a solid
Nashville
outro.
Nashville needed to win that game by a lot of goals.
Yeah. No, we had to win by 3 goals to even make it into second place.
What you saw in the second half might not be fully representative of what.
Understood, because New England didn't. They just didn't have to lose by 2.
So I'm excited, but I'm gonna hold and see what the verdict is coming up in the next game.
So cautiously optimistic is where Shay is at.
Go to the break.
All right. Well, we will see you guys back here in just a second. Hey, Mixtape fans out there. Thank you guys so much. We want you to run this pitch with us this coming Wednesday, August 21st, 2024 at Southside Kitchen and Pub. We're doing a huge donation alongside our partners with Southside and Wiseacre Brewing for Kicking It 615. It is a pay-to-play gap breaker for our friends who want to play at the youth level. We want you guys to do a donation with us. We're looking for soccer balls that are size 3 and 4, soccer cleats, shin guards, navy blue and royal blue socks and shorts in youth sizes. We just want to donate and give back to a huge community and great organization that really does work for the next generation of soccer. There's going to be a special player appearance by Drew Yearwood there as well. And you guys know we love Drew Yearwood. We want you guys to be partners with us in this. So come run this pitch with us at Southside Kitchen and Pub, August 21st. We want to see you there.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are here to focus on our new guys. We're looking at Perez and we're looking at Yazbek. Perez, the maybe lesser known, the lesser shining diamond. And that's what I'm here to ask my guys, Logan and Austin. Let's take a look at the past couple games, their performances. What are your thoughts? Who's looking better? Who's showing potential? Do you see both contributing through the end of the season? Have you been excited about Perez? Have there been some disappointments? Are they basically what you expected? Austin, go ahead and lead us in. Kind of give me an idea. I haven't been able to catch as much as you. Who's looking best? Who's showing potential? And what can we expect until the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, Yazbek came in. He's either, he was already in midseason form, coming over from Norway, coming over from Viking. But he started first match, got a full 90 with Nashville SC. Second match, got subbed out in the 77th minute. So he's given us almost 2 full games already in his first 2 matches, and he looked in form. His second match, he got an assist, and it was a beautiful assist. It was one of those where he was up near the goal. I don't know if you got a chance to catch it, Shay, but up near the goal, and instead of taking the shot, made the unselfish play, passed it right back over, crossed it to Sam Surge for the easy goal. Easy tap in. And so I'm loving what he's adding, and he's a 2-way midfielder. So he adds a lot on the back end as well. So I like that because we really need some help right now, just with so many injuries, with so much fluctuation in that back line right now. Josh Bauer is not it. He was looking rough. I didn't get a chance to talk about it in the Leagues Cup recap, but in that Mazatlán game, Dan Lovitz is the reason for both of those goals. Backpedaling.
It's Dan Lovitz and Josh Bauer. Let's be real.
Yeah, but he was backpedaling instead of challenging the shooter. And so seeing our backline struggle as they are, I'm really excited about Yazbek, especially with him coming in already in midseason form.
Well, let me move this over to Logan. And I'm going to start with an anecdote here, Logan. I have a young player. He's a top player in League One, US right now. He's going to finish on the top 11. So I speak with some coaches. They have some interest, but I spoke with the head coach last game. His second question to me was, can you show me the kid's GPS? He runs more than anyone I've seen. I could see this kid commanding my team from the midfield. So let me ask you, are you seeing that sort of, let's say, motor to go 90 minutes to carry this team till the end of the season? Are they giving you that energy? Are they giving our team that energy that Nashville really needs?
I mean, I do feel like Yazbek definitely will. Again, we saw 2 full games with Patrick Yazbek. We did not get to see, but kind of a half with Jonathan Perez. However, both are pretty exciting. The one, drawback, I guess, with Yazbek right now is that he got the card in the defensive half. That was not fun. That set him up for pretty, decent side of a ball, but or of a free kick basically, and that's honestly one of the only drawbacks that I see out of him. However, Jonathan Perez, I do want to talk. I know we didn't talk about him as much. Tunji kind of played him back and was like, I want to talk Yazbek, and because we didn't really have a ton to go off of. We knew he was coming in to kind of give us just something to put in place of Tyler Boyd, but we really didn't know what it was going to look like. That dude came in, 21-year-old Jonathan Perez came in and was immediately attacking, immediately coming in, immediately on the ball, making the right plays, making the right passes. I know we only have him on loan right now from the LA Galaxy. I want to see what we can do to get him here, period. We have U22 spots that we could use totally for him and get him over from LA Galaxy. We also, I know, just picked up an international spot to bring who knows who in, but golly, that kid is young. He is fast. He is bright and aggressive. I can't see a downside to him.
Now, hey, I'll say this. I know it wasn't a lot that it wasn't the big flashy, it wasn't the sexy picks that Nashville did in the summer window. However, these 2 additions I want to point to somebody on the squad that has shown what his worth is this year. His name is Jacob Schaffelberg. Yeah. We got him on loan. And then originally he was basically an unknown player. And this is what Nashville does. They kind of get these players who are under the radar that you're not really sure who they are, what they are. And credit to Mike Jacobs. This is probably the only time I'll say this right now. But credit to Mike Jacobs for bringing in these unknown players. And hopefully BJ can actually make something happen for them. But if they can produce the way that Jacob Schaffelberg is, then this 100% is a win. If Perez starts to shine like he showed us in those few minutes that we got to watch him, I think that we play him on the right wing along with Jacob Schaffelberg on the left and Yazbek in the middle, and that completely changes who Nashville is and their personality, their mentality on the pitch.
Well, Nashville holds the option to buy the kid, right?
Yeah.
Perez. So if he really performs and shows up, I could very well see him being a part of Nashville's full squad for the long term, and he's coming over as a Mexican player at a low point in the Mexican Federation history. That helps these players fly under the radar, and I'm pretty sure that was advantageous to Nashville to pick him up at this time. Yeah.
I mean, you're more of you see all the behind the scenes in the summer transfer window. So who was available, who was out there, at least from an agent standpoint.
Yeah.
With what was out there, I think Ben Wright from Broadway Sports Media, he gave Nashville a C grade as far as their summer transfer window. Is that a fair grade from your standpoint as an agent for what Nashville added? Because they didn't offload anybody that maybe they could have or should have, but they did add a couple pieces that looked promising.
I would have to go back and check. Remember, as we discussed earlier, that some players can have a buyout, and it's not too late. It's not too late for a buyout. We still might see that. I think what we're missing is a lot of the behind the scenes of what's going on in the front office of, are they playing to really go for a title, or what are they conceding this year? Do they want to have contracts that carry over to next year? Maybe not. So at that point, they might have said, well, look, we want to keep a portion of salary open for 2025 instead of spending it now because this team's not going to win the championship. And if that's the case, makes perfect sense. You got a loan. You shored up the midfield. You had to. Yeah. But there wasn't that splash free agent signing. That's not really Nashville anyways.
Yeah.
So C+, I wouldn't say that Nashville did poorly. I would say it's just a standard Nashville sort of thing to do.
The closest we got to any kind of splashy, was getting an EPL player to come and play for us before his time was over. And that was Sam Surridge. And I think his time was starting to become over because he hadn't really done much once they got to the Premier League. When he was in Championship, he definitely was the reason they got there.
Sure.
But he hadn't done anything at the level after that.
But, and I mean, since we're talking about like new faces, we can look at the future and speculate what BJ might be wanting to do, because right now Nashville's kind of doubling down on more of the DP side of things, not necessarily the U22 with these new rules. So basically what I'm seeing is we are doubling down there. Maybe in the future we might look at BJ Callaghan wanting to develop these players and switch out, maybe go 4 U22 rather than 3 DP. So you know what? That could be something.
Nashville, Austin has made some trades that will help lead us into the next discussion here. So let's take a quick break and come back and explore what is Nashville going to be doing. They've required some international spot, almost the opposite of what they traditionally do. And what can we expect from that going forward?
The opposite of what they did in the draft.
What they always do.
Oh, gosh.
You guys know I'll be too lit on Wednesdays at Southside Kitchen Pub, but it does not have to be a Wednesday for you to get too lit with me at any of our away watch parties. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Mixtape615 for all watch party information so you can get in the mix with us, me, Logan, and Ginger Snap. Let's go.
All right, guys, we are back. We are talking NSC trades. So last day of the summer trade, or the summer transfer window rather, was yesterday as of recording. So August 14th was the last day. We saw a trade with Portland Timber where Nashville gave up $100,000 in GAM, which we're GAM millionaires. So, I think that was appropriate. And we actually gained an international roster spot. I know you've heard us talk about that on the podcast in the past, where we've been pretty upset with how Nashville handles their international roster spots. They double down on the local players. They double down on their national team players that they've got, a few of them. And we want them to reach out. That's kind of, as fans, we want to see this game, this club, we want them to explore the international market. Are we going to see that now? Shay, I know that this is kind of your forte when it comes to trades and all of the signings, being an agent. So is this something that Nashville is acquiring an international spot to maybe bring somebody up from their second team, Huntsville City, or is it actually going to look to acquire a player who might be a free agent?
It's interesting because this is such a Nashville move in the sense that they they only paid $100,000 for it.
That might be the only Nashville thing about it.
That's my point. They probably did it because they could get something at a really good value. And traditionally these go for maybe like 200. Sometimes when the market's really hot, we're looking at 250, 300, depending on what type of potential international players we have moving in. I love these type of things. I love these type of moves, the mystery that surrounds it. What are they going to do with it? I had a discussion with Austin off camera about this. My belief, there's two ways that can go with this, right? They can still sign an international player, okay? In order to sign an international player, they have to be a free agent at latest during the transfer window. if they become a free agent in any league and want to enter into the MLS, it has to be a direct free agent that was free prior to the window closing. That's the first thing. Second is, what are they going to do with it? I would love to believe that they're going to bring up maybe a player from Huntsville. When you see a move like this made, I'm not seeing anything out there, guys, right now that screams, oh, this is a free agent that Nashville needs to pick up. So I want to be cautiously optimistic that we might see, given BJ's experience, a little bit of Huntsville get involved with moving up an international player from their squad.
Now, I don't know. I'd have to look back at like what the contract was, but I know that Wubens Pasillas was somebody who was injured through the beginning of the season. I know he's Canadian, and so as he's coming up, I don't know if he would require an international spot. But from what I've heard, from what I've seen in Huntsville, he's looking pretty good right now. Is that somebody, Logan, that you'd like to see with the senior team with Nashville coming up?
Would I like to see that? Yeah. But currently, just because I wanted to dive a little deeper into Wubens real quick, he's not listed on the Huntsville website as a player.
He's going to be listed on Nashville most likely.
He likely will be, and you're right about that. I probably should look to the Nashville website just to make sure, but I was just like, oh my goodness, he's not listed.
Yeah.
Let me just double check. I just want to double check, guys, because like, let's be real.
Well, this is Huntsville. Knowing who he is, without a coach most of the year as well.
He's Wubens Pasillas. He is okay. Zero picture taken of him. Same with Jonathan Perez, but he is listed on the Nashville website. Guys, if I, set your heart just racing right there, chill. It's okay. He's there. International slot for him. Yes. Show me the Woobs. I just want to see your Woobs. Like, let's get Wubens in, man. I want to see him playing. We've heard a lot about him. We saw, some of the things that he did in Canada. I want to see what he's done in Canada, in Huntsville, translate up. Again, it's part of that BJ Callaghan, development side that Austin's been talking about. Like we want somebody who's going to attack. We want somebody who's going to be developed. We want somebody who's going to grow. And, we had the oldest roster in the league last year and the year before. We need youth. And I think it's time for Nashville to get that youth in. I think Wubens is a solid choice to use for that international slot, especially since we've already acquired him. We already have everything that we need out of it. We just needed that one little tidbit to officially push him to the first team.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be either that most likely, or they see someone in the free markets or, free agent in the market, or else there could be something out there that will have some buyouts upcoming or some players waived that might be available that carry an international spot. That wouldn't be horribly surprising.
Well, Shay, I mean, is there anybody out there right now that you see that could, fill that void for us?
I haven't really looked to see who might be waived from within the league, who would be bought out. I do know that. I don't know where Nashville sits on the waivers. I don't know, but I don't see anyone internationally right now that would, catch someone's eye, put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're all we're doing is speculating right now. It's what we want to see. Yes, I'd love to see Nashville add a young player. I think we do still have some of those U22 spots available where we can bring in, but I don't know if there's anyone who really requires it. Just like Shay said, there's no one who's like that flashy name, that flashy signing that Nashville is going to get. But with us signing these young players with Huntsville and BJ being who he is, I think it'd be exciting because we know a rebuild is coming, right? It's going to happen. Nashville, all of their players, Logan just said it, they're old. They're I don't want to say washed out because any player can get revived with the right club, with the right coach, with the right system.
I mean, let's be
I don't
real.
want to
Look
say
at-
that they're washed out.
Yeah, I was sorry. I was just gonna say, look at Joe Willis. Joe Willis has had the best like last 3 years of his career. The last 3 years of his career, rather, have been the best years of his career, and he's 35 years old.
Gosh,
Like,
I could say a lot about Joe Willis. All of you Joe Willis haters can go punch dirt, because he is the only reason that we are not losing matches by 7 goals. Joe Willis has been standing on his head, keeping us in it. But anyways, we know, like I was saying, a rebuild is coming. I'd like to see that happen sooner rather than later. I don't think we're doing anything this season. BJ might be taking these next 9 matches just to evaluate where and what he needs to move around. And experiment with different players. And so maybe that international roster spot is just to bring somebody up from Huntsville and see how they mesh with the senior team. So any final thoughts from the two of you on this international spot, on what we might want to do, or what you would like to see happen with Nashville?
I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, to be honest, it's usually because they have a roster. I mean, they have a player in mind for that roster spot. That all signs point to Huntsville. And I will say Nashville didn't have the urgency this summer. They wanted to sign potentially solid center back. We didn't see that. So that also points to Nashville maybe saying, hey, look, let's attack this in the winter. We have a miniature rebuild upcoming. Can we put together one last crazy run with our old guys? But yeah, I'm at a loss for what that extra international spot's going to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
Logan, any final thoughts?
Let's be real. And some of it is, Shay, you're at a loss. I'm at a loss. Austin's at a loss. But some of the reason we're at a loss for what it is and kind of in the dark, and we're speculating right now. We've been speculating this whole year, and I feel like a lot of the speculation that we've had has been correct. However, in this one instance, and I'm not saying we're genies, we're not soothsayers, we're not the ones who see the future. However, in this one instance, I think none of us can even speculate or tell, because we've got a brand new coach. We've got brand new players that we just brought in within the last 2 games that we have no idea how well they're going to fit. We already are seeing sparks of where they could, but we saw that early with Tyler Boyd, and then it's almost like a disconnect between him and Hani, and then of course he went down. But we also saw it early with Lucas McNaughton, and then he got injured, and so it is kind of like up in the air, a toss up. I'm not sure where we're going to go with it. I think I want to see Women's come up. I think Women's Pasillas would be a phenomenal. See, the sirens are
going
ringing,
on.
Man. The sirens are ringing.
We got to shut it down.
They're seeing the fire that we're just throwing out here, man. That's all it is. They're seeing the fire
Nashville
coming
SC
that is
on
going to be
fire
Nashville.
right now. It's
whether it's going to be the bonfire that we're building for ourselves, or we're just going to start lighting it up the rest of the season. Who knows? But I'm excited to see where we're going to be when it comes to what we're going to do over these next 9 games.
Yeah. Well, guys, let us know in the comments what you'd like to see happen with this international roster spot. Who knows? By the time this gets released, we might already know. Things happen fast in the MLS, and nobody knows and nobody can see it coming. But we are going to wrap another episode of Mixtape 615, guys. So thank you all for sticking with us. Being devoted listeners. We couldn't do it without you. Special shout out. Oh, sorry, Logan. Special shout out.
If I may.
Okay.
Guys, y'all have stuck with us. We're at 40 episodes now.
40.
Podcast Hill is like 20 episodes. So you guys sticking with us, you guys listening in, we do want y'all to know that we do truly appreciate that. I know that I would love to plan some kind of special party for an upcoming episode, just to meet the people who have not said hi to us already. But the fact that I've had random people in the streets, random people at the stadium, random people at the playground I go to up the street catch me and be like, hey, you're Beer Main. And I'm like, what? Like, you listen to us, guys. Thank you guys so much for that. Also, like, yes, we love our people. We want to make sure that we give dues to the people that
And shout out to
Austin's about
behind the
mention.
scenes guys too on this
Oh,
podcast.
absolutely.
Yes,
again,
thank you.
Huge shout out to Doug, but
Yes.
we want to make sure that you guys know that we appreciate you listening to us and, valuing our opinions in some way, shape, or form.
Or if you don't value it, at least sticking with us while we share them, But guys,
Loving
yes,
the hate.
exactly what Shay said. Shout out to our behind the scenes man, Doug Branson. This dude has stuck with us through 40 episodes. All of our
Plus,
off-topic,
40 plus.
off-camera. Yeah, 40 plus episodes.
All
we
of
had some
our
practice episodes. But no, this guy is stuck with us. He's doing this all just for the love of podcasts, for the love of Mixtape 615 and all of you guys. So thank you, Doug, again for doing that. Don't forget, stay connected with us. Hit us up at mixtape615.com and on all of our socials. Hit us up on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, all of that good stuff at Mixtape 615. And if you're looking for all of the crazy faces, all of the craziness that happens in Honduras, if you just want to watch it all, just hit us up on YouTube at Mixtape 615 Pod. But guys, keep it real, keep it vibing. Until next episode, guys, Mixtape 615 is signing off.